against Vitaly Cipko. This is an IBF Super Middleweight Eliminator.
The IBF President Marion Mohammed, Supervisor Mahassan Scott. Introducing our judges scoring this bout from ringside, les juges pour ce combat. From Germany, Klaus Griesel. From the United States, George Hill. From Canada, Sylvain Leblanc. And a referee in charge, our third man to the ring, from Canada, Jean-Guy Brousseau. All right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Super Middleweight Title Elimination. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, dans le coin bleu. Wearing red trunks with white trim, fighting out of La Habra, California in the United States by way of Jesus del Monte, Guanajuato, Mexico. He weighed in at 167 pounds. His record stands at 27 wins, 2 losses, 21 big wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the hard-hitting USBA Super Middleweight Champion, ranked the IBF #3 world contender, introducing Librado Andrade. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the red corner, dans le coin rouge. Wearing blue trunks with white trim, hailing from Dnipropetrovsk in the Ukraine. He weighed in at 167 1/4 pounds. His record stands at 22 wins, 2 losses, and 1 no decision, with 12 wins coming by way of knockout. He is ranked the IBF #2 world super middleweight contender, known as the pride of the Ukraine, introducing Vitaly Cipko. Once again, a referee in charge, Jean-Guy Brousseau, now to give instructions.
We've talked before the fight. I want clean fight. Obey my command at all times. Watch low blow and watch your head. Touch love and good luck.
So for Librado Andrade, tables have turned in the sense he's not the visiting invader anymore. He's the favorite of this crowd, and some stood for him.
He got a huge ovation for a guy from La Habra, California, fighting in Montreal.
That's really speaks well for him. And the fact that he came back has captured some sentiment and loyalty with the fans here. And he put up a good fight the first time.
And maybe there's a sense that there's some unanswered questions and people want to see him with Butte one more time.
Here we go, first round. Cipko from the Ukraine, 22-2 with 12 knockouts. 3 victories since his last loss, and that was to Jeff Lacey. And Andrade thinks, a lot of people in boxing agreed with him, that he really should have beaten Lacey.
I had Cipko beating Lacey. I thought that was a bum deal for Vitaly Cipko. I thought he did more than enough to beat Jeff Lacey.
And when your opponent recognizes it, that's a good sign of respect. And Andrade did this week. Good right hand by Andrade. Jab getting through for Andrade. Look for the right hand lead from him. Sneaky uppercut gets through.
And of course, if you're Vitaly Cipko, you know that there's no need to rush Librado Andrade. That he's always going to be there in front of you. There's no point in being reckless because he will make you pay.
There's another right hand lead by Andrade as he tries to drive Cipko back.
So the key to Librado is patience. And patience, because often the reward's going to be out of the judge's mouth, not by your own fist, because there's no knocking out Librado Andrade.
Fighter, pro since 1999, trained by Wayne McCullough. Body shot by Andrade. Good right hand lead by Andrade.
And that's Librado Andrade's best punch. His right hand is solid and heavy.
Right, no shot, come on.
And it's the punch that he does the most amount of damage with.
And it's set up.
Right.
We talk about the right hand for Andrade being his best weapon, and this style is just set up as an open invitation for him to go to town with that.
The southpaw, very wide, wide lead, wide guard. And you would think that right hand of Librado has a clear path to the chin of Cıpko.
So we come to the end of the opening round. Andrade and Cıpko. A good left hand by Cıpko.
Time.
He makes some noise as the first round comes to an end. As we head into the corners.
You don't look bad, man. You throw one at a time all the time. Give me some water. You understand? Hold him up. Put 2-3 shots together. Don't load up so much. That's good, you know. When you have your defense side, it's fantastic. You understand? Suck it up. Fantastic. Always the other guy. Yeah, don't make no mistake. Keep your hands up all the time. Work off the double jab, double jab. You hit him with a couple of good right hands to the body. Keep it up. You understand? But don't look to swing one shot at a time. Wait till you get him in like a predicament. You put the punches together like on the rope. Yeah? Don't.
And so we get set for round two.
Howard Grant giving some good advice. Librado Andrade, put your punches together, go up, go down, don't throw one at a time.
This is an interesting test, this fight, for the emotional state of Andrade, because he came so close against Butte, and it's a kind of fight where it's either going to discourage you or you're going to get a lot better. Oh, there's a right hand, and this is the direction he wants to be going. He has talked all week about that was a knockout he didn't get. And he doesn't want to make the mistake here.
And that was a terrific right hand that came from underneath. It wasn't a classic overhand. It came from underneath it and just found the target.
Let's see how quickly he gets to go back to that. A terrific development for Andrade. He is coming at Cıpko with intensity in his eyes. Yeah, but a right hand, good right hand by Andrade.
And it's good to see some fire out of Librado Andrade, because a lot of people say he took that loss a little too quietly. He was almost too happy at the end of the Butte fight, and that there wasn't a lot of fire out of him. Well, we're seeing the fire right now.
We saw it this week when he was talking about what that fight was, and he started to recollect. He said, you know, that was a knockout he should have had, didn't get, and that's what makes this the big test. If he uses that as a motivational tool, it will make him a better fighter, and he's giving indications right now that he plans to build on the close call with Butte.
And he's not going to wait for 2 minutes and 55 seconds of the 12th round to make that statement. And he's not going to be a victim of the clock this time.
Good right hand here by Andrade. You like to see a guy who has come close come out and show the fire in his next outing. Like there's an impatience about him.
Well, I think there's an anger and there's an urgency. And how many chances does the guy get, whether you're victimized or not? You have to go out and make your own opportunity.
Right, but as he throws a left hook, we see guys either go down from it, say it's not going my way, or they get real angry. And he is showing a healthy dose of anger this week and in this fight.
And mixing up his punches very well. I mean, it's exactly what Howard Grant told him to do.
Good right hand lead by Andrade. Right hand to the body.
And right now, he's just overwhelming Цыпко. He's closing the gap. Цыпко can't be far enough away from him. Labrade is just on him like a bad suit.
He is on his game tonight.
Ты что, пропустил удар? Ну, ощупал. Слышишь, Виталий, он все время подсаживается, а ты бьешь и выше получается по перчаткам. Ниже, да. Вот он так.
And here we see that right hand of Andrade come from slightly underneath and just explode on the chin of Цыпко. Boom. Right there, just from underneath. It had a little uppercut flavor to it. And was very spicy.
And left a bad aftertaste for Цыпко. So here we go into round 3. An excellent start so far for Lebrado Andrade. 27-2, 21 knockouts in this title eliminator against Vitaly Цыпко.
And that right hand he is throwing has got an absolute perfect arc on it to find the target on Cypko's chin.
Now he's coming in with attitude. Good right hand coming through, and Cypko is accommodating him by moving straight back. Right into the path of these right hands.
You have to give Andrade an angle, several angles. And you have to make him move his feet. If you just go straight back and give him a clear target, he's going to make you pay.
Andrade with a jab and a right hand. And works it downstairs. Hook gets in. Cypko bewildered about what's coming at him next. And he's unable to generate the first attack.
Well, we are seeing more versatility out of Andrade than we've seen in the past. Most of the times you think Andrade, you think a guy with a great beard, a good right hand, and resolve. Well, we're seeing a two-fisted Lebrado Andrade who's finding the target from different angles and becoming a very versatile offensive weapon tonight.
Against a guy who just can't seem to get started. And Andrade pouring it on Cypko here. Good body shot. Another good body shot by Andrade.
And he's mixing the hooks in as well.
Cypko backing straight up, takes another good body shot. Heavy-handedness here from Andrade. Good left hook to the body. Cypko trying to stand his ground, but not able to sit down on his punches. And Andrade pours the right hand through.
And Andrade making a statement to Lucien Bute, a real statement, maybe the type of statement Diacono was trying to make to Jean-Pascal in the previous fight, but definitely Andrade making a very loud, vivid statement to Bute that he's ready for a rematch.
He looks impressive so far, maintains the pressure. Good right hand again. These are tag shots right on the money.
And I'm so surprised that Cypko is standing so straight up and not moving his head, not giving any type of angle or any type of riddle for Andrade to solve at all. Because he was a very puzzling fighter against Jeff Lacey a couple of years back. But now, what you're seeing is what you're getting out of Vitaly Cypko.
Body shots don't reach, get close, bang, bang all the time. After double jab, bam, 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 downstairs in the body. guy can't carry much more of this. You got to take his legs away. You understand? You got a good beard. You got to keep working to the body.
And here you see Andrade finding another home for that right hand, set up by the jab, a left hook, and a right. He's mixing up punches more in this fight than I've ever seen out of him.
Into round 4, it has been a showcase to this point for Negrado Andrade in his title eliminator against Vitaly Sipko. And the man, the winner is most likely to fight, Lucien Boutet, is here at the Bell Center, as am I, Dave Bontempo, and my partner, Jason Abelson. Glad you're enjoying this.
Right.
And right now it's getting to the point Andrade can't miss with the right hand, and he's throwing different variations of that right, and each one is finding a home on Sipko's chin.
Well, he can fire the straight right, he can fire the lead right, he can do something behind a jab. And to this point, it's also a night in which his timing is perfect. Everything is fitting in for him, and he is having an excellent performance. Now, for Sipko, he'll have to try to disrupt that perfection.
Yeah, Sipko's in too comfortable a rhythm right now, but you don't want to be in a comfortable rhythm against Andrade, because he'll figure that rhythm out and then make you pay for it. I mean, he's not giving Sipko anything. He's not giving Andrade anything that he hasn't seen before. And with Sipko, he gets by in the back. He's supposed to be cagey. And we're not seeing any caginess out of him at all tonight. We are seeing some aggression out of him right now.
As Andrade works the body, continues to pour right through. Not only punching to Sipko, he's punching through him. Good body shot. Another good body shot, a telling blow there by Andrade. That's going to bring those hands down.
And kill the legs. And not that Sipko is using them that well, but they'll become even less of a factor the more he gets pulverized in the body.
Sipko cannot keep Andrade off. Andrade not concerned. Not even, he just walks through the jab.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he walks through brick walls. We saw that against Boutet. I mean, Boutet couldn't keep him off of him, but Boutet was at least showing something in the effort of trying to evade Andrade. Sipko is being a willing target right now.
And he will be more of a willing target if these body shots continue to land by Andrade and slow Sipko down. Good right hand by Andrade. Another one, a lead right there. So as we come to the end of round 4, it remains the Negrado Andrade show.
Все нормально. Виталик, когда он видно будет атаковать, ускорься на ногах, не делай в одном темпе. Ты все время в одном темпе, он рывок делает, а ты в одном темпе уходишь. Ходи, только видишь это самое. Раз и быстро уйди, понял или?
Down. Slowly going down. Keep banging him in the body till he falls on the floor. You understand? Beautiful work. And no, keep your hands up. Don't make mistakes. Keep working. You understand? Beautiful. Beautiful.
Start round 5, scheduled for 12 in this title eliminator. Negrado Andrade in the red trunks, having a great performance thus far against Vitaly Sipko.
I think we began to see a little bit of life out of Sipko that last round. I don't know if it was enough to win him that round, but we began to see that straight left coming, and at least some initiative on his behalf to be more than just a lamb on the way to slaughter.
Andrade 27-2, 21 knockouts. Sipko 22-2, 12 knockouts.
Right. Good back.
Andrade off to a blazing start, has a knockdown to his credit as well. So he's built himself quite a nice cushion through 4 rounds.
You have to remember, Vitaly Sipko didn't exactly have a great start against Jeff Lacy either. It wasn't until the latter third of the fight that he put his stamp on that performance and at least brought him in a position to at least claim that he was robbed. And he's slowly getting into a competitive rhythm here, but it's just taking his time to get to that point.
And if he's down by 5 points right now, with 8 rounds to go, there is no margin. You'd have to sweep the card practically. You'd only lose 1 more. So that's the value of a knockdown and a quick start, both of which have come to Andrade.
And Andrade having a good round so far. Landing with the right, pressing the pace, putting Sipko on his back foot again.
Good right hand lead again by Andrade, and then showing the intensity to follow up with the uppercut.
And this is a much more well-rounded performance out of Labrado Andrade, showing more than just the desire to go forward and press a pace, showing that he has a well-rounded arsenal.
And showing a lot of character in applying what happened to him here in a positive way. Back in October, he has come out with a blazing pace and got off to a great start in this fight.
And cementing his status amongst the fans. The fans loved him when they introduced him. I'm sure they're liking him even more now that he's backing up their affection with a terrific performance.
Andrade ducks the jab and presses Sipko as we come to the final stages of round 5. It's another good round for Andrade. And Lucien Boutet smiling tonight.
Forward. Beautiful work.
We'll be fighting
Beautiful
this
work.
man.
Beautiful
again.
work. Beautiful. Don't forget about this double uppercut inside. Double uppercut right hand. You understand? Don't forget about that double uppercut right hand. You understand? And keep moving that head all the time. Keep moving that head.
And there may not be a more loved athlete in the province of Quebec than Lucien Boutet.
They chant his name even when he's not fighting.
And he was born in Romania. He wasn't even born in Quebec, but they've adopted him like no other athlete I can ever remember.
Round 6 underway. 2 guys vying to fight him. Labrado Andrade and Vitaly Sipko are going at it, scheduled for 12, and Andrade 27-2, 21 knockouts, having things his way.
I don't like seeing Andrade back up. If I'm in his corner, I don't like the fact that right now he's the one backing up. Obviously, an aggressive fighter like him, more effective coming forward.
You do have to anticipate not going to wage a perfect fight. They'll be able to show him between rounds. Hey, look, you got hit a little bit when you backed up. You got hit a little bit when he moved.
Right now, he's giving Sipko the opportunity to land those long-range punches. And he just did right there with a good straight left.
And so Andrade toys with southpaw for a second and then thinks better of it. Right hand lead by Andrade, then an uppercut.
When he gives Sipko the time to get off, he's playing right into the Ukrainian's hands. When he presses forward, he's putting his stamp on the fight.
Tries to pop his way through with the right hand. His right hand lead from a distance by Andrade. Left hand coming through from Цыпко, but nothing on it. Andrade much more heavy-handed.
And doing good work on the inside and actually stunned Цыпко with a short little left.
There's a good right hand and an uppercut. Andrade trying to open up again. Цыпко caught him with a left hand, but Andrade kept coming forward. Before Cipco's right hand is down by his side.
And I wonder if Andrade wasn't putting Cipco into a comfort zone and then making him pay for it. No, he just got blocked with a right-left combination by Cipco.
And I think Cipco just found some room and got a little time and got comfortable by himself. So we'll see how that plays out in the second half of the fight. But for Cipco, it's getting late. We're only done with round 6.
Good work. Magic, give me that sponge. It's at the bottom. Liberato, don't forget to move that head. Open your mouth. Don't forget to move that head. You can't have this guy throwing these fucking little pity pat shots. Hold your head down. Hold your head down.
Don't let him back in the fight. Revive me, guys.
Don't let him back in the fight, this fucking guy. You understand?
And we take a look at some good moments from Vitaly Cipko, a right-left combination. I thought some of his best work, his best moments in the fight, and that was a fine combination by Cipko, and a byproduct of the fact he had the room to operate and the time to operate to land those punches from range. Now, was it enough to win the round?
Tough call. Maybe that will be a split round as we go into round 7. Andrade in the red trunks. In a nice battle here with Vitaly Cipko.
And Howard Grant realized that maybe Andrade took a little time off that round, but definitely getting back.
Now goes Cipko for the second time. The uppercuts to the right hand coming in.
4, 5,
Cipko a little off balance as
7,
well. And Andrade made him pay for it. How tired is Cipko? How motivated is Andrade? We'll find out. Andrade pours it on here. Cipko tying up. Good left hand by Cipko. Good left uppercut by Andrade. Vying to close the show. For the moment, Cipko's off the hook. But he can't keep Andrade off. Even when he scores, Andrade keeps coming.
And it seems like when he scores, he puts himself in a position to be countered. Because the punches he's throwing just do not faze Roberto Andrade.
come on.
Andrade working on the inside. It's been another good round, just like round 2 was, his other knockdown round. Andrade chasing Cipko down. Good uppercut in the right hand.
That uppercut has been his best punch this round. And he's done a lot of damage with that uppercut.
Watch your head.
Looping right here by Andrade. You have to be a little careful with that. He did leave himself open with a lunging shot.
I think when Andrade does stuff like that, though, it's with the notion that if he does get caught, he's not going to get hurt. I mean, he fights with a brazen confidence in his own shape. which for other fighters would be a detriment, but he just can take whatever anybody throws at him.
He works the body. Left hook. So Librado Andrade enjoys a 10-8 round in the 7th and has built probably an insurmountable lead.
And here's Andrade, boom, that right hand, that coming from down low, doing the big damage, eventually sending Cıpko to the canvas. Again, the Andrade right from underneath, scoring and putting Cıpko down.
That's 2 knockdowns to the good for Andrade as we stare at round 8.
Take yourself, come on.
So here we go. Librado Andrade has everything going his way in this most important fight of his life at this point.
No, absolutely. It's a chance at redemption, and he's making the most of it. We saw Cıpko finish round 7 on some very shaky stems. And they look like they've been given the benefit of a minute's rest, but I'm not sure how much juice they have in them right now.
Knocked down twice, the body shots earlier from Andrade, all taking a toll. It's just been his night. He has been firing on all pistons, exquisite timing, good hunger.
And making a statement against a fighter who's supposed to be a very tricky, cagey opponent, a difficult guy to face. And Andrade has been making it his fight from round 1 through to round 8 right now.
Facing a guy who's 22-2.
Come on, great, step back.
Who's in the same title eliminator position that he is in. Big names in this division, other than Boutte, include Carl Frock, Kel Kessler. There are options out there, but the biggest one in front of Andrade, which looks more and more imminent, is a rematch with Lucien Boutte. That would do well here in Montreal.
That would do very well. The first fight did around 17,000.
Right, right.
Which is phenomenal. I mean, to get 17,000 for a fight, like a tape issue.
You can count on one hand the amount of guys that can put 17,000 people in any arena.
And Boutte's drawing power here is extraordinary. Live and on TV, he fought against William Jobby that did, within the province of Quebec, a 33 share in the ratings, which is MASH numbers, Who Shot JR numbers. But in Quebec, those are Lucien Boutte numbers.
Good right hand lead here by Andrade. He has picked the perfect night to have a big performance. Good jab by Andrade. Right uppercut by Andrade. Good straight right hand behind the jab. It's a night in which just about everything is working for Andrade, and just the opposite for Cıpko. He cannot get any momentum.
And it's tough to get momentum against Andrade, because he's a guy who is so relentless, so unyielding, and tonight so effective.
A relentless force. Librado Andrade.
He's doubling up on his jab. He's showing angles coming in.
He's done it all tonight as we come to the end of round 8.
Hey!
you feel, man? Good, man. That's what I want to hear. You feel good. You look good. You understand? You just keep putting the pressure on this fucking guy. This guy's not there no more. Hit him 2, 3, 4 shots, that's it. He's going to crumble like a foul. You understand? Yeah. Box nice.
Stay a little bit more busy. Even when nothing's happening, keep the jab on him.
And the guy's still throwing, eh? All right, good.
I see him.
Yeah.
Take it out. Come on.
Well, Howard Grant, one of the more colorful cornermen in the sport. No mincing words with Howard, and always entertaining to listen to, and he's a good trainer, and his advice, despite being colorful, is proper and effective.
And if it motivates a fighter, it helps get him to that next level, even better. So here we are in round 9 with L.J. Andrade having a tremendous performance against Vitaly Cipko in this important title eliminator bout. At the Bell Center in Montreal, I'm Dave Bontempo, along with Jason Abelson. And still ahead, Timothy Bradley, Kendall Holt.
And Cipko resorting to pot shotting, and you're not going to get anywhere pot shotting L.J. Andrade. He's too strong, and you leave yourself in too vulnerable a position to be countered.
Well, the guy's faster, stronger. You know, you hear fighters talk about, it wasn't my night. And when you walked in the room, I just didn't have it on this particular night. And that's something we may hear Cipko say after this. He came in, and it just wasn't there for him. A lot of that Andrade took away. Some of it he just couldn't get started.
I think you have to give credit to Andrade. I think he took everything that was given to him tonight. Nothing was given to him. He just went out and he made the most of his opportunity.
And he has just been so on in this, cutting off the ring nicely, using the angles, getting a high percentage of power on the punches he throws.
And I think making a statement to Butte that you're not gonna move circles around me through 12 rounds and just have me chase you blindly. That this is going to be a different fight next time around. That you're not going to own the center of the ring like you did before.
He has bounced back from that with an anger and picked up the momentum from where he left off in that fight.
Right.
It was almost a tale of two fights. There's what happened in the 12th. But preceding that, without a doubt, it was Butte's night up until that 12th round.
Oh, he easily had the nice edge and everything. But when you do something nice in the 12th round, you carry that forward and you build on the right things. That's what he did.
And in many aspects, this could be round 13 of the Butte fight.
Yeah. 13. And 13 has been repeated 9 times. He has really put together. Cipko was game, but outgunned.
Hey!
And there's New York Giants running back Brandon Jacobs, who actually trains with WBO junior welterweight champion Kendall Holt. They do train together. They're friends. And a pretty good twosome right there.
Yeah, Kendall Holt from Patterson, New Jersey, and Brandon Jacobs with the New York Giants. So they're just up in that same neck of the woods.
Imagine if Jacobs became a heavyweight fighter, or if he chose a different line of athletics. Let's take a look at some of the good work from Andrade.
Take a look at Brandon Jacobs. You were mentioning him. One of the hardest guys to bring down in all of football when he's healthy.
When he's healthy, he plays with such an edge that it's tough to stay healthy with that style.
If I had to pick one guy in the NFL to give me a yard on a must carry, that's the guy. So here we are into round 10. L.J. Andrade and Vitaly Cipko.
It's going to be interesting in my mind to see how Librado Andrade finishes a fight that he's clearly comfortably ahead on. You talk about making statements. He's winning comfortably on the judges' scorecard in a fight you were dominating. A loud enough statement, or is finishing off a foe who's hungry in game? The real statement he wants to make to Lucien Bute.
Well, that's a big statement. I would think the minimum he should accept would be to always be perceived as aggressive. He's come out aggressive, and the knockdowns have happened. Basically, he's worked to set them up. And he would want people to say round after round, from bell to bell, he was right on this guy. And he has set a good pace in this fight, too.
He's been relentless, but he's been patient at the same time. It's funny, you don't think you can marry the two, but we've seen a patient aggression out of Librado Andrade. Like you said, they're working the angles, scoring well with both hands, and not just mindlessly pressing forward. Although that style is effective for him, but we're seeing a subtlety out of him tonight we haven't necessarily seen in the past out of him.
Well, he has come in here, and that subtlety could be maybe a sense of ownership. He has felt that he has owned this fight from the second they stepped in the ring, and however this fight unfolds, he owns it. That's how he portrays himself.
And it's tough to argue that. I mean, as subjective as judging the sport is,
but that's
objectively, he's winning this fight.
But that's how he's carried himself throughout the entire fight. This is mine. However I get it, it's mine.
And blood beginning to leak out of the nose of Vitaly Cipko.
Cipko tries to pour a couple through, but he really can't sit down on his punches.
No, it's too late for sharpshooting for him. I don't know if there is a way of rescuing this. The perfect punch? I have yet to see a perfect punch do anything to Librado Andrade, even budge him. Look at Mikkel Kessler. Landed dozens of perfect punches on Andrade, and Andrade didn't even take a backward step, and Kessler a much harder puncher than Vitaly Cipko is.
Well, Cipko is doing just about all he can now, but it's just not phasing the powerful, heavy-handed Andrade.
Keep moving the head like you're doing. Keep putting 2-3 shots. Not one at a time. Don't look for the big shot to flat the fucking guy. You understand? Nice and easy. Nice like you're doing all the time.
And here we see Andrade, big right hand, big left hand, doing his effective work on the inside, a place you would think he would want to be, and is more comfortable against than a guy like Cipko, who's rangier, a little more awkward. But really, Andrade's comfort zone has been anywhere in the ring tonight.
Really has been. Final round action. That's the 11th round action. Couple to go. Librado Andrade, 27-2, 21 knockouts. Vitaly Cipko, 22-2, 12 knockouts.
Up your shot. Come on.
Andrade having left hooks, right hands.
We talked about statements that might want to be made. Howard Grant insisting that Andrade close the show, not to let up on Cipko. Being very frank and to the point about what he expects out of his fighter.
And now there's a cut outside left eye of Andrade.
Right. Right. Step back. Come on.
Was it a punch? Was it a butt?
Well, however it occurred, looks like there's plenty of time for Andrade to get through it.
Right.
Question now would be, He's got to keep it small enough so it doesn't bother a battle with Boutte. Push it back too much.
Step back.
And he's rubbing it himself a little bit.
And it's swelling too.
Right hand getting through from Andrade. How much of an omen are the words from his trainer? Close the show.
Right.
Cipco's been a tough guy, though. Andrade has tried.
Well, he's awkward, and he's game, and he's rangy, and he shows different angles. And right now you couple with the fact that Andrade is pressing forward but not throwing, and that's giving Cipco the opportunity to throw first, although he just got caught with about in the corner.
I figure you're at the same level as a guy. He's going to get some shots in on you. But they open up again. Andrade trying to close it. It's a little wild. Elbows up in the face. Andrade looking for hooks, uppercuts, straight shots, wide shots.
And the blood flowing fairly freely out of the left eye.
And fortunately for him, it happened in round 11. Doesn't have that much time to get through.
Up there, up. Hey!
Corner will have some work to do for Andrade.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. How you feel, champ? Huh? How you feel? Open your mouth. You feel? You open your mouth. Open.
The 12 and last round, okay?
You got a drink.
The next 12, last
All right.
round, okay? Попробуй как можно дольше удержаться на дистанции бей. Набери очки,
And some shots by Cipco. Landed a right, but it's Andrade with the left. And some work on the inside that, despite the cut to his right eye, to his left eye, I think that sequence and others like it gave Andrade yet another round on the scorecard. And that cut, Dave, not big, but in a tough spot.
In a tough spot as far as the future goes, on the eyelid on the inside. Final round action. Dave Bontempo and Jason Abelson with you from the Bell Center in Montreal, where Legrano Andrade closing in on a victory over Vitaly Cipco in a title elimination bout to presumably face Lucien Boutte, the champion in the division. Now the story emerging in the final rounds is how much will this cut Andrade just suffered push back the clock on Boutte.
Right, stand back, don't drive.
Body shot by Andrade. Left hook by Andrade. Cipco moving straight back, and that's the danger zone. He's been down twice already. Number 3 can't be far behind.
And this is looking like the last 30 seconds of the Boutte fight. A relentless Andrade stalking and punishing a weary, fading foe.
Andrade continues to pour it on. There's a hook, another hook. Cipco almost out on his feet. Big uppercut by Andrade. Cipco comes back with a right hook, but what's keeping him up? A good right hook by Cipco. Not a lot of power, but he's game and standing.
And more breaking out in the ring, Dave.
Big time more. Right hand by Andrade.
Cipco standing and answering.
Big gun for big gun. Cipco avoided an imminent third knockdown. He kept himself up and lands a big shot here.
And Cipco showing the resolve of Andrade in this final round.
hand by C'Cipko.
And what's keeping the Ukrainian upright right now?
And he really was drilled. He was drilled with better stuff in this round than the stuff to put him down in rounds 2 and 7. So he's showing a ton of heart. And his grit and resolve has also helped bring out the best in Andrade. Good right hand by Andrade. So the crowd getting ready to give a standing ovation.
And what has gotten into C'Cipko?
This one goes the distance. And Lucien Bouquet likes it.
What's not to like?
The champ, inspired by the performance. And the guy is going to fight again.
And by the courage of C'Cipko, that was a hellacious 3 minutes for both fighters.
Bouquet giving a sign of approval to Andrade. There it is again.
Respect amongst warriors.
He looks like a guy you can never be mad at.
You can't be mad at Lucien Bouquet.
He's also smart enough to know that both guys may have made some money in this ring tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's a partnership.
And as much as the crowd loves Andrade in the ring, they love Bouquet even more ringside.
No, it will be the same thing in terms of the loyalty for the fight. But Andrade took a major step forward tonight. And at this point, the cut looks minimal. Didn't look deep. That will bode well for him.
But Dave, on a tricky spot.
On a tricky spot.
Tough to put enough pressure on that cut to heal. And here you see some of the pitched warfare that took place in round 12. Andrade landing everything. That right uppercut was just hellacious.
And at this point, it looked like C'Cipko would go down, but he says, no way.
Look at him fire back. Unbelievable that after 12 hard rounds and 12 punishing rounds by Andrade, that C'Cipko was able to stand and answer back like that.
And he showed a ton of heart. Down twice. He could have stopped, but he didn't. He kept trying for that miracle punch. He gave everything. But Andrade might be the best fight I've ever seen him start to finish.
I agree with you. You know, his calling card has been his heart and determination, and everyone's admired him for that. He showed a little bit more than that tonight, which makes him even more lovable, really. And that much more dangerous.
So a fast-paced action bout. Andrade with knockdowns in round 2 and round 7. We expect the scoring to be academic. C'Cipko showed that there's more to just what was on the scorecards. He showed a lot.
More. He showed a lot. He showed an Andrade type resolve at the end of that fight. And you're right, David. The cut doesn't look like it's going to be that dramatic.
Well, the good part for him is it happened in round 11. Now that thing happens halfway through the fight. You've got 6 more rounds for stuff to get applied to it. Here's the final number.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 action-packed rounds of boxing, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judges at ringside, Klaus Riesel and George Hill both scored about 117 to 109. Judge Sylvain Leblanc scores about 120 to 106. All three in favor of the winner, Librado Andrade.
So point proved for Andrade. He'll get a chance to meet Luchan Bute once again. Credit to Citko, he took a lot of punishment in that fight, but it's Andrade who goes on. When we come back, we will continue the build-up to tonight's